StrayAllDay.com.
You're now tuned into the show where you learn the discipline to show up day after day to do the work, the confidence to put yourself out there boldly and authentically, and the mental toughness to continue showing up, doing the work, putting yourself out there, even when the success you've expected to achieve has yet to be achieved. And on top of all this, you get a huge dose of personal initiative. That is the go-getter energy that moves any one of us, including yourself, to go and make things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. And then we put all this together into a series of frameworks, approaches, insights, strategies, and techniques all underneath the umbrella of one unified philosophy that is called Work on Your Game. My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, and welcome to the show. And today's topic is we are going to talk strategic partnerships. But before we get into this, I'm going to remind you of two things. First of all, my daily motivation and Monday motivation text message is guaranteed to have you focused, sharp, and on point to start your day and or your week. You want to be getting these messages. I'm not even asking you. I'm telling you. All you got to do to get into my text community, all you got to do to get the messages, be in my text community. To do that, text me at the following number, 305-384-6894. Send a text to that number right now. No, right now, not tomorrow, right now. Send a text right now to that number, 305-384-6894. Once we start sending the messages again, we'll already have your number saved. You'll get a message from our bot, and then you'll be automatically getting messages from me on a consistent basis, guaranteed to do exactly what I told you they're going to do. Secondly, Work on Your Game University. If you're ready to get to your goals now, I'm not talking no more mañana, no more later, no more I'll get to it, no more I don't need to do it right now. No more, I got to wait until I do this and this and this. All right, kill the bullshit and let's actually get to you getting to some goals in your life finally, instead of continuing to tell yourself that you're going to get to them, but not actually doing it. Go to workonyourgameuniversity.com. That's where you can have me as your direct coach. That's where we can get all this stuff going, get all this stuff started. And again, anything you've ever heard me talk about on this show, I can coach you on how to apply it and how you're going to apply it directly in your business and or your life for you to reach your goals sooner rather than later. So instead of the 50-year plan that you're on right now, let's cut that down to about, how about we cut that down to about a year or less? How would that sound? Again, that's workonyourgameuniversity.com. That out the way, let's get into the topic, which is strategic partnerships. Now, this episode that what I'm going to talk about here today is about how you can make connections with others who can help you move forward, and you can also help them move forward. Again, that's why it's called a strategic partnership. All right, so you get something, they're going to get something as well, in a way that both of you are supplying something useful to the other. The more of these you can create, because what you got to understand about strategic partnerships is there's an S on the end of that. Right? I mean plural. I don't mean one strategic partnership. I mean you want to create as many of these as possible, because the more of them you have, the better it is for you, because it will save you a lot of your own resources like time, money, attention, energy, and focus. You don't have to use so much of your own resources to get things done. Now you can leverage other people's resources to get things done, and they can leverage your resources to get things done. So things that are easy for you, you can benefit by helping other people, and things that are easy for them but are hard for you, you can benefit by getting other people's help. So everybody's helping everybody. That's why it's called a strategic partnership. There's a strategy behind it. There's a partnership where everybody is benefiting in the process. This will save you from having to do everything on your own, which you are not capable of, because you don't have every skill, nor do you have enough time or energy to do everything, even if you did have every skill. And you'll be able to get things done that you otherwise may not have ever been able to do by yourself. All right, that's the purpose of a strategic partnership. And again, the more of these you have, the better. So do not look at this as a one-off thing. This is something you should be always looking to do. Point number one, today's topic, once again, is strategic partnerships. What can you bring to the table for others that they may not be able to do for themselves? This is not a statement, it's a question. Let me say it again. What can you bring to the table for others that they may not be able to do for themselves, or you're 100% sure they cannot do for themselves? This is basically the gist of sales. And a strategic partnership is a sales situation, by the way. Even though you may not be selling money, meaning the other person may not be giving you money, you may not be giving them money, you're still selling, because you are selling them on I have this, and they're selling you on, well, I have this. That's a strategic partnership. Give you an example. My friend Jacob Hiller, he had this product, or still has this product. Back in the day, in my basketball days, it was called the Jump Manual, JUMP, Jump Manual. So he made this product specifically because Jacob is a basketball guy, I'm a basketball guy, and he got into the science of how to jump higher, figuring out how to jump higher. And he created this program that if somebody follows it, you are going to add all these inches to your vertical jump. And it's a big thing for basketball players, because a lot of basketball players want to be able to dunk a basketball. And other players in other sports too. So he had volleyball players taking his product and all this stuff. So Jacob sold like millions of dollars worth of this product. I came across Jacob probably about 2000, maybe 2009, 2010. And we quickly realized that there was a great opportunity for a strategic partnership because Jacob, even though he was great with the making the jump manual thing, he was more of like a sales funnel marketing sales guy, and I was more of a content guy at the time. I do a lot of sales funnels marketing stuff now, but back then I was not. I didn't even really understand the principles of marketing back then. I just had some natural selling ability. I had natural copywriting ability as well. That's why I was able to sell products. But he was into that stuff, like into the principles and the strategies and the systems of it, which is why he was selling so much of his product, even though he wasn't even creating that much content. I was creating a ton of content. So can you see where this is going? The strategic partnership became, oh, hey, Jacob, you got this product for basketball players. I have a YouTube channel and a bunch of articles where I'm giving basketball players everything they need to get better at basketball. But you have this way of teaching them how to jump higher, which is perfect. It was a perfect partnership between what he had and what I was offering for my audience. I knew his product could help my audience. So he had what we call an affiliate program. An affiliate program is a form of a strategic partnership. Affiliate program just means I have a product. I'm going to let you sell my product to your audience. And every time somebody buys my product from every time someone in your audience buys my product, I'm going to give you a percentage of the sale profit just because you're the one who introduced me to the customer. So let's say I have a product that costs $100 and I offer an affiliate royalty, affiliate kickback of 50%. What that means is if you have an audience of people and you introduce my product to your audience, everyone who buys that product for $100, you get a 50% affiliate commission, which means you get $50, I get $50. So $100 got paid to me, but I know through tracking, because we can track all this stuff online, that 10 of these customers who bought my $100 product came through your website. So of those 10 customers, I owe you $50 for each sale. 50 times 10 is $500. I send you a payment of $500 and you didn't have to do anything. I do all the fulfillment. I had to deliver the product. I do all the customer service. I deal with all the questions that the customers have. All you did was introduce the product to the customer. That is a form of a strategic partnership. It is known as affiliate marketing. It's a huge thing on the internet. People do this all day, every day, online to this very day. So Jacob was very big in affiliate marketing. He had like hundreds of affiliates selling his product for him, which is why and how he was able to sell millions of dollars of his product, even though he wasn't even making that much content. I was making a ton of content. He wasn't making much, but he took his product, or he gave his product or access to his product to me. All I did was promote his product to my audience to say, okay, well, from me, you're going to learn how to dribble, how to shoot, how to do the moves, the footwork. Of course, you want to dunk, right? Okay, so now get this program from this guy who I know I can trust. You go buy his program from him, use this link, because that link was the link that made sure it got tracked back to me, and then I would get paid off of that. I was making thousands of dollars a month through selling his product in addition to selling my own products. That is a form of a strategic partnership. The point being, we're answering question number one. What can you bring to the table for someone else that they cannot bring for themselves? What I was bringing to Jacob was I was introducing to my audience a jumping program that they didn't know about unless I told them about it. They didn't know about Jacob. They knew about me. I told them about Jacob. Now, what Jacob didn't have was an audience of people, a big audience of people to buy the program, at least from my wing of the world. He had a bunch of other affiliates, but from my wing of the world, he didn't have anybody. So I introduced him to a whole new set of customers. So we both helped each other. So the way you start answering this question is to first assess yourself. Okay. We're talking strategic partnerships here. What skills or tools or insights or information or access do you have that other people don't? And when I say other people, it doesn't have to be the whole world, because there are other people who were out there creating content at the time that I was. So those wouldn't be the people that I could go to them and say, hey, I got a whole bunch of content and an audience of people watching me. Well, they got that too. They go to say, well, Dre, I got that too. I don't need that. You got something else? If I didn't have anything for them, those wouldn't be the right partners. So I wanted to find somebody who needed access to an audience of people. He needed that access, and he needed to find somebody who had an audience that would be open to his product. So you got to find the right fit. It's not just anybody, and it's not just about what you have. It's also about what they need. It's also about what they have that you need. So you got to find the right fit. So you have to look for this stuff. And the easiest way to look is to first get clear on what you're looking for. Now, the easiest way to look for something is know what you're looking for. What I was looking for was who has something that my basketball player audience needs that I'm not already giving them. He had it. And that's why we had a strategic partnership. Everybody understand this? Jacob's still my guy to this day. We've been working on doing some stuff off the court business because he does off the court business these days. I do off the court business. I see him all the time at conferences and stuff that I go to. So we're still working on some other things, trying to find another thing that we can do together. The whole point here is you need to know what your most valuable assets are, if any. Do you have any valuable assets that a certain specific type of person or people need? When you know what they are, that's what you sell. That can become your strategic partnership. So what do you know how to do that many other people see as very valuable? All right, figure that out. You know. What do most people come to you asking for or wanting? When people come to you asking for help, what are you asking for? What tools or abilities of yours have created the most opportunity for you so far in your life? All right, you need to do this is all self-assessment, folks. You got to ask yourself these questions. These will point you in the right direction of your most valuable attributes or assets. Then you got to ask yourself, who out there actually needs the stuff that I have? Who needs it? I'll give you some simple examples. Okay, so I already gave you one. I gave you a lot of detail on that example with me and Jacob in my basketball days. One thing we do here is a lot of media appearances. I appear on a lot of people's platforms who have radio shows, YouTube shows, podcasts. I do a lot of media appearances, and we call those stage. These days, people call those stages. So when someone says appearing on a stage, doesn't necessarily mean giving a TED talk or giving a speech. It could be getting interviewed on somebody's show. It could be being on a radio guest. We call those stages these days. So I appear on a lot of people's stages. So that could be in the form of, as I just said, guesting on somebody's show, speaking at an event. The reason that I do that is because I have an asset that they need. All right. This is where the strategic partnership comes in. It's not just because I'm just this eloquent speaker or because I have a suit on. There's none of those things. That's not the reason why it happens. The reason it happens is because I have something that they want. It's my job to figure that out, and then it's my job to communicate that I have it. All right. If I fail at either one of those, then this doesn't work. So I have to communicate that I have something that they want, and I have to be right. Because if I'm wrong, if I go to them and say, hey, I had this, and they're like, well, I'm not interested in that, then the partnership does not happen. And we get people who tell us no. Most of the time they say yes. So because I know exactly what I'm looking for, I know exactly what I have, and I know why they would want it. And I know how to communicate it. That's the point. So, and we're going to get to that as we go further in this episode. So I know that they want a person who has created some level of success or achievement that is notable. They have the ability to explain and articulate that success, and they have some type of way of putting it into a bite-sized format, also known as a framework. And if you come into Work on Your Game University, I will help you put together your framework for what you're doing. So Work on Your Game itself is a framework. You hear me talk about one of our frameworks every day when I open the show. Discipline, confidence, mental toughness, personal initiative. That is a framework for the mindset portion of what we do here at Work on Your Game. See, these things are valuable for events and shows because they want exactly what I said. They want to bring somebody in front of their audience. Let's say somebody who has a show. Let's say you have a show. You got the success show. And I'm going to reach out to the success show because I know what you want. You want to bring on some people who are successful, who have some public note of their success, who can share something unique about their background, how they created their success, and then they can give their audience some bite-sized form of how they did it that the audience can take with them. Because it's not like I can give you my whole life story in a podcast episode and you're not going to retain most of that because it's too much information. But if I can break it down and say, discipline, the third day, confidence, the super you, mental toughness, the bulletproof mindset, and taking initiative, and I can explain that, well, you can remember those pieces because they're bite-sized enough for you to take with you. That's the value of a framework. I did a whole episode on frameworks, by the way. If you didn't hear me talk about frameworks, go listen to episode number 2060, a framework for selling your ideal clients. Also, episode 2033, how to create your brand framework. Episode number where I just introduced frameworks itself is episode number 1440, frameworks, the master skill of organizing knowledge. See, these are valuable, and I know that. See, the thing is, you have to know what you have that's valuable and to whom is it valuable. See, the thing that what I just broke down, what Work on Your Game is about, is not valuable to every single person who has a stage. Just because you have a conference does not mean what I have is perfect for your stage. Because again, there are times when we swing and we miss. There are times when did I say this today? I think I said in yesterday's episode. I'm recording multiple episodes in the same day. I think I said in yesterday's episode that I made like 30 sales calls just today, the day that I'm recording this. And not everybody who I called was interested in bringing me in as a speaker for their stage. Some of them said, no, we already got our speaker. Some of them said, well, hey, this is not going to be a fit. Some of them I looked at and I said, okay, I'm looking at this event or this thing because we put this lead in our CRM. I said, this is just not a good fit. This might have looked like a good fit when I grabbed the link and the lead, but no, it's not a good fit. Now I'm taking a second look at it and we killed it off. So just because you have something, again, does not mean everybody's going to be interested. Everything ain't for everybody. Your job is to find the people for whom it is for. And those are the people that you sell to. And again, that doesn't mean everybody you reach out to is going to say yes. You're going to get some people who tell you no. And that's okay. If you're okay with the no, again, as they say in sales, every no gets you closer to a yes. So I'm looking for people who are looking for people like me. I solve their problem, they solve mine. My problem is I want to get in front of an audience of new people. Their problem is they need to put somebody new in front of their audience. So we help each other. Everybody get it? That is a strategic partnership. So I did an episode on one of my virtual mentors, which is a guy named Sean Puffy Combs, Puff Daddy Combs, who I know is in seems maybe on his way to being in some legal hot water these days. But it says nothing about what I talked about in episode 195 when I described him as a virtual mentor, still to this day, because the things that I said about him on that episode have nothing to do with the stuff that he's dealing with right now. But I talked about one of Puff Daddy's, some of you call him Diddy, P. Diddy, whatever. Puff Daddy, I call him Puff Daddy. That's how I came to know him. One of his greatest skills is that Puff had the ability to find talented musicians, and he had this branding and marketing machine. He was the branding and marketing machine. He would put that machine behind these talented artists who were otherwise unknown. They were good, but nobody knew who the hell they were. He would brand and market them, so now everybody knew their name. And then they would go out and they would make hit records and they would sell a bunch of songs and make all this money. And he would get to share in the profits of the money that got made, even though he wasn't making any of the music. This guy was a genius at strategic partnerships. He's still alive, at least as of this recording. Puff Daddy is a genius at strategic partnerships. He was not producing most of the music. He had a bunch of producers who did the production for the company. He was not writing the raps. Even when he rapped, he wasn't writing his own raps. Everybody knows that. He famously would hire other artists to write raps for him, and he would pay them. And again, everybody won. They wanted money. He wanted raps. Everybody got something. He didn't have to create anything. All he did was be like the orchestra. He was what do they call the guy at the symphony? He was the conductor of the orchestra. And he would just conduct each piece to do what it needed to do. And then he would make a piece off of everything that everybody else made, even though he wasn't the one creating it. This is genius. That's genius. That's not bad. That's genius is what he was doing, because he didn't have to put in all of his own personal efforts to achieve success. All he had to do was go leverage the efforts of other people. And again, they got something and he got something. So it's not like he was just taking from them. Everybody benefited in the process. This was a beautiful business model because he didn't need to write his own raps. He didn't have to perform if he didn't want to. He didn't have to produce any music, and he could make money just by putting the right people in the right places at the right times in ways that they could not have done for themselves. That's the key. Because if they could do it without him, they wouldn't need him. They couldn't do it without him. So he was providing something valuable the same way that they were. Because if he didn't have any artists, then all his orchestrating skills meant nothing because he didn't have anybody to orchestrate. So everybody was benefiting in the process. Now, everybody understand what I'm saying here? This is what a strategic partnership looks like. This is the question you have to ask. We're only on point number 1. Can we keep going? Good. Point number 2. Today's topic, once again, is strategic partnerships. Number 2, you must learn how to pitch and sell yourself. I just talked about this in point number 1. I stepped on this point a good amount in point number 1, but you need to hear more of it anyway. If you're going to get into a strategic partnership, ladies and gentlemen, you need to actually reach out to the people with whom you would like to partner, and you got to share with them why you have something that they want and how you have something that they want so that they understand it and why they should be open to working with you. All of this is your job. I want to let that sink in for a second. You need to reach out. You need to identify people who may want something that you have. You got to reach out to them, find them, reach out to them, tell them that you have something, why, how, why it matters, how it works, and why they should be open to actually doing something with you. This requires strong communication skills. You must have strong communication skills. Written communication, verbal communication. There's pretty much only 2 ways you can communicate. You got to be sharp at communicating to groups and also to individuals. You're going to need to do this. When I am reaching out to in business, whether I'm doing media appearances, speaking gigs, consulting deals, sometimes I'm on a Zoom call with 3 or 4 people, and they are all part of the decision-making process. And I got to get all 4 of them sold on me in order for that deal to go through. If one of those 4 people isn't feeling it, then it's not happening. All right, you got to have the skill. That's group communication. I call that public speaking. When you're talking to 2 or more people at the same time, I call that public speaking. You got to be able to do that. And you also, when you're talking to one person, you got to be able to sell that person. Understand, they may be considering other options besides you. These are communication skills, folks. And these are future-proof abilities that will always be in demand. Future-proof simply meaning that no matter what changes in the world, these will always help you do other things. Your ability to communicate to a person or to people will never go out of style. It will never be an old ability. It will always be useful as long as you're good at it. And if you don't have it, they will always hinder you it will always hinder your ability to leverage your abilities. Basically, communication skills are a force multiplier. The better you are communicating, the better it makes it for every other ability that you have. You get what I'm saying? So if you're a good singer and you're good at communication, you'll give yourself more opportunities to show off your singing skills. If you are great at making food, you're a chef. The better you are communicating, the more opportunities you'll get to be a chef and make more food and make more money. So it's a force multiplier. It multiplies every other ability that you have. Confidence is a force multiplier. Discipline is a force multiplier. Focus is a force multiplier. In other words, the more of these things you have, the more they make everything else you have better. So communication is one of those force multiplier skills. So the better I am at communicating, again, the better my results, period. So it's a simple concept, one that many people need to focus on improving. So if you're listening to this and you're not good at selling yourself, in other words, having a conversation with someone and selling yourself, whether you're talking to them directly, like a phone call or Zoom call, whether you're talking to them indirectly, like an email or text message, or you're recording a message to send to them or to a group. If you're not good at any of these things or in the written format, get good at them. You need to invest in getting good at these things because they will take you far, much further than not having them, if you get what I'm saying here. And you should get what I'm saying because I'm explaining this in detail here. You can have a very high skill level, but without the ability to communicate that you have the skills, your skills will never see the light of day. You get it? Point number 3. Today's topic, once again, is strategic partnerships. Strategic partnerships, number 3. What they do is strategic partnerships lighten the load of you having to do all the work yourself. I talked about this in the intro. When you have strategic partnerships, you don't have to do everything on your own. You can leverage the abilities of others and get some for yourself in the process without having to do all the work. I'll give you another example of this. I'm giving you personal examples of things that I do, but in the bigger picture, companies do this stuff. You notice that when you go into a Target store, you often see a Starbucks inside the Target. You ever seen that? A Starbucks inside the Target? What is that? That is a strategic partnership. Target is doing the job of attracting in all those customers. How many people come inside of Target every day? How much foot traffic does Target get every day? A lot. Starbucks said, let us put a shop inside the store. So as soon as people walk in to get their home goods, they also can get themselves a coffee. And guess what, Target? We will give you a percentage of every sale that we make. Target said, okay, we're not using that space anyway. Okay, you get to put your store in there. You make some money. We get a cut. We get to serve our customers at an even higher level because now they can get some coffee as well as buying all the home goods. They might even stay in the store longer. Perfect. This is a great strategic partnership. When you see KFC and Taco Bell merging their stores together, that is a strategic partnership. Right? People who eat KFC probably eat Taco Bell too. All right, so when you go to get some Taco Bell, you might try some KFC. That is a strategic partnership. I mentioned this, that in my building, they mentioned that they have a Tesla that you can rent, like $25 to rent it and $25 an hour or something like that for the Tesla. And again, this building is not sponsored by Tesla, but somebody who had access to that Tesla came and did a strategic partnership with them. They get to rent out their car, and they got a 800 people who are available to go rent the car. They can make some money, and they don't have to go shopping for customers all day. And the building gets to make a cut because they weren't using that parking space anyway. So that's a strategic partnership. So your job, or your understanding here that you need to have. The good thing about a partnership is that you are working with others who are doing some of the work that you otherwise would have to do by yourself. That's what a strategic partnership does. It lightens your load of effort that you have to put out. So if I'm going to get a new customer for a product or service of mine, I can spend money on ads. I can make a bunch of content. I can go out and knock on doors, all of which I am willing and able to do and have done and still do to this day. All of those things that I just said, I still do to this day. Knocking on doors might be replaced by calling phones, but you get the point. I'm willing to get direct and go straight to people. But if I have a strategic partnership with someone who has access to the customers that I want. They already did the work to get those customers. They already got them. And I want those people. I could let them do the work of sending word of me to their people and let those people participate in the upside of my process because they sent me the people. So I'll go to somebody and say, hey, we got this thing over here. Got this thing called Work on Your Game University. We'll give you 40% of any money that anybody spends who comes into our university. All right, what you got? I do those kind of strategic partnerships sometimes with marketing companies. They say, okay, we'll run all your ads. We'll do all your stuff. Anything you sell off of that, you give us 20%. I said, all right, let's do it. All right. And that's a strategic partnership. Why? Because it's saving me time. It is saving me effort. It's saving me from doing something that either I don't want to do or I'm not that good at doing, but they're really good at doing. I benefit, they benefit, everybody wins. That is a strategic partnership. Okay. So I can let them participate in the upside because, again, how much would it cost me to do it on my own? So I'm willing to give people a percentage. I'm willing to give you a cut. Jacob was willing to give me 50% of the sales from his product. He was giving away more than 50%. I think Jacob's his affiliate commission, I believe, at the height of what we were doing, believe it or not, was 75%. Yes, 75% was meant. Every time somebody bought his product who came through my website, I got 75% of the money. He only got 25%, even though it was his product. He was giving away 75% commission on his product. Now, why would he do that? Why would he give away 75%? Let's say his product costs $100. It didn't cost $100, but let's say it did. Say the product is $100. He's giving away $75 to me for sending customers to him, and he only keeps $25. Why would he do that? Because, first of all, at putting out a 75% commission, he went above and beyond every other product that was offering commissions. Because affiliate marketers, there's a whole industry of people who, that's all they do. They just sell other people's products and they collect money. They don't even make anything of their own. So they're not like me. I make most of my own stuff. Most of the stuff I sell, I make my own stuff. And then I do a few affiliate deals. So you hear me talk about AquaTrue, the water filter, AG1, I'm telling you about Jacob, and maybe some others that I may do every now and then. But I create my own stuff. But there are people out there whose entire business is they just sell other people's stuff. They don't make anything of their own. They just sell other people's stuff. They just get an audience of people and they sell other people's stuff and they just collect money without creating anything of their own. There's a whole industry behind this. Some of you may be involved in it. And when you're trying to get affiliate marketers to sell your product, the most enticing thing you can do is offer them a big commission on the sale. So Jacob offered 75%, which is one of the highest commission rates of anybody who was offering an affiliate product. So that put him at the top of the list. So when an affiliate marketer goes to the site and says, because there were aggregator sites that would list all the people who have products that can be sold, and his product would be on there, and they would order it by who offers the most commission. Well, his would come back to the top of the list. It was 75%. That's a lot. That's a big percentage. So that's how he was able to get so many affiliates, because he was very generous in giving away the money. And look, he was collecting $25 for doing no work. I was doing all the work to sell the product. I would sell the product. I would put it in my videos and in my content and in my emails that you can get the jump manual. Jacob didn't do anything. All he did was just sit back and collect money. Wouldn't you give away money too? Wouldn't you be generous with that too if you didn't have to do any of the work? And then here's the other thing that we're not going to get into here today. I talked about this in other episodes where I talked about the second dollar, is that once Jacob had the customer, because it's still his customer, I got the $75, it was his customer. Now he can sell them more of his other stuff. He already got the customer. He didn't have to do any work to acquire a customer. It was one of the most expensive things you can do in business, acquiring a customer. He didn't do any work, cost him no money. And now he has a customer, he can sell them other stuff. So you see how this works? This is when you start thinking much bigger and expansion when it comes to building your business, when it comes to sales, when it comes to marketing, your sales funnels, all of these things. This is a whole world behind this stuff. This is not something you can absorb in just this episode. And I'm just trying to keep you all's minds open to help you understand what's possible out there when you understand the principles of how these things work. And this is the reason why I have Work on Your Game University, where I can coach you on how to do these things specifically for your business. And again, we have levels of our university. When you get to work with me directly, I will show you how to do this, and we'll work on doing it specifically for your business. So anyway, I just explained to you affiliate marketing. Referrals is another form of affiliate marketing. You just give people a kickback. You send me somebody, I give you somebody. I tell people that. You send somebody to come work with me to get into my one-on-one program, you get an affiliate fee. I give you a percentage on that, and that's a high-ticket program. So that affiliate commission is a significant amount of money. All right, it's a significant amount of money that people get just for sending me people, if you get what I'm saying. So the more of these you have, again, the less work you have to do on your own. And I know people in business who they do the bulk of their sales are not through ads. It is not through their own content. It is through their affiliate network, meaning they have a whole bunch of other people who sell their stuff for them. Russell Brunson, ClickFunnels guy, he's a guy who does this a lot. Whenever he puts out a new product, for example, his software or one of his books, most of his sales come from his affiliates who they go sell the book, and then customers go and buy the book, and Russell sends those people a commission for selling Russell's book, and he gets all the sales, he gets all the customers, they get the money, the customers get the book. Win, win, win. Everybody wins. See, this is the way you got to start thinking about expansion in your businesses, folks. But anyway, I could talk about this all day. I'm not going to do it today. When you come into Work on Your Game University, I will work with you on it all day on your business. So again, you know the link. I'll tell you that in a second. Let's recap today's class, which is strategic partnerships. This is about making connections with others who can help you move forward, and you can also help them move forward. Number one, what can you bring to the table for others that they may not be able to do for themselves? You must answer this question. You must be able to clearly articulate it and find the people who need what you're offering. Just because you have it does not mean other people need it. You got to find the right people who need and want what you can bring, and also who have something that you want. Number two, learn how to pitch and sell yourself. This is a communication skill. Communication is a force multiplier. The better you are at it, the better it will make everything else you do. Number three, strategic partnerships lighten the load of you having to do all the work. Biggest challenge many entrepreneurs have is that you try to do everything on your own. The problem is you are not skilled enough. You not have enough time. You not have enough talent to do everything by yourself. So when you're trying to do everything by yourself, you are failing by default. You need to start partnering with other people who can do things that you cannot do. And again, this does not cost money. It just costs a different way of thinking. That's the payment that you have to make. You have to think differently to do this. I'm giving you an intro on how to do this. You come into Work on Your Game University, you get into our working with me directly level. We have our gold level, which is our group program, where you can learn a lot about the mechanics of how this works. Then if you want to have me help you directly do this, that's when you get into our higher level programs where you can have me as your personal one-on-one coach. Again, just go to workonyourgameuniversity.com. You can see what we're doing there, and we can get started on all of this stuff. Work on your game. Dre, all